Good morning, you rays of sunshine. All 4,500 of you, welcome back to the YouTube channel, which you may or may not believe is an automotive channel, but because I think there's more than enough people on the internet standing in front of a car telling you that these are the headlights and these are the specs and this is that sort of stuff, we opted to do things differently. I acknowledge all 4,500 of you because I think that's a milestone. So without any further ado, thank you so much. If you've just joined us, and you have no idea what this page is about, I started this YouTube channel at the end of January to prove a point to myself that chasing perfection is a frivolous exercise, and the bigger priority rather should be progress. Because if you wait for perfect moments, or if you wait for the perfect shot, you'll die with a full mag, right? That's the idea. Give everything you can with everything you have, and when you can give more, you give more. And today I'm giving you guys so much more. Hey, let me show you. In my pockets, I have the keys to every little boy's dream, folks. Every little boy's dream. If you know your cars, you'll definitely recognize the silhouettes on this key. But I'm really proud to announce that I've got the Porsche 911 GTS on test this week, and wow. The only thing, my only issue, look at this, nah? My only issue is that this is what it looks like outside. This is not handsome baby boy weather. It's not conducive to anything I want to do. It's a bit of a joke, actually. So you join us at the very beginning of a road trip. I'm taking this Porsche 911 GTS and my favorite Yappa, who's that side getting her hair and clothes ready. And I'm not going to rush her because I know better than that. I'm trained. I'm domesticated. And we're going to head over to Mpumalanga because the weather that side is a bit better. It's going to be a 2-day road trip. We're going to leave here now, and then we're going to go to Dalstrom, because just off of Dalstrom, there's a glorious road called Slyhoek. It's a connecting road between two mines or something like that, but it's got I think it's 34 kilometers, 104 turns, if not 94. I'll edit and correct myself here. And then after we do Slyhoek, we're going to head up to Mickey's parents' house, sleep over there, and then come back to Johannesburg. I've been living with this car for the past 2 days now, and glorious. I have no words for it, but let me stop it here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so now. I think this community that we're building here, where it's not just about the car, but we get to have conversations about any and everything. We get to get into the ins and outs of life. We share things. I learn from you guys in the comment section. I'd like to think you learn from me as well. That's what this is about. And if you're keen on joining this community, then allow me to welcome you. Cheers, guys. Well, not cheers, but you'll catch me downstairs in just a moment. Right, here she is behind me in all her glory. This, folks, is my chariot of fire for the week. The Porsche 911 GTS, which has a frunk, right? Over here is where all your gear goes. I believe it's just under 150 liters of space over here. But I've got an overnight squishy bag. I've got all my shooting gear. And just looking at this thing, man, you can tell we're here to mean some serious business. One very interesting fact about GTS models is that they have center locking wheels. If you look at a normal car, it'll usually have 5 bolts in a circular pattern over there. Nope. In this one, it uses one big bolt, if you will. It's a center lock, and you need a specialized tool to be able to remove the wheel. And I'm going to quickly show you the interior before we head off. It's quite familiar to other Porsches. Porsche are firm believers in the fact that if you're going to buy a Porsche, you're probably going to buy another one. And if you have more than one, the experience between the two should remain exactly the same. That's why the steering wheel is identical to the Cayenne. It's identical to the Taycan. And over back here, you have a curved display. Same one you find in the Cayenne, same one you find in the Taycan. And then obviously the difference lies in the fact that it's a 2-seater, although you do have a back seat, but there's not much in terms of space back there. You could fit someone you don't like or some children, and then the silhouette slopes down quite a bit. I think this is one of my favorite parts about this car. And then over here you have the light bar. You'll see the light bar come on with the 911 GTS Carrera, obviously, because all 911s are pretty much Carreras except for like the GT models, but we'll get into that in a different segment. And then you have twin exit tailpipes, which by the way, why am I so dark? Which by the way sound like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in Sports Plus, making sure the exhaust is open and you'll just hear it. An interesting fact is that it has two electric motors. One of them sits in the gearbox, and because of that electric motor, it doesn't need a starter motor. So it doesn't crank up, it doesn't go like brum. No. It just brum. It just becomes, listen to this. Yeah. Have a look at that. I hope you guys can still hear me. But it's a very nice cabin in here. I've also got a sunroof which opens up. Mickey goes in there. And I think we're gonna have ourselves a great time. Yo. Once the cold start finishes, quiets down a bit. And I think that means we are good to go. So I'm gonna shut this bonnet. Love this badge, absolutely love it. And then I think we can jam. It's gonna be epic.
I have a question. How do I turn around again?
Triple.
Oh, there we go. What are the different drive modes? And we mentioned yesterday that you were testing the car out and we were testing it in wet mode, but like what are the other ones?
So it has a couple, right? Wet mode is if you want to drive normally, and then you have normal, which is if you want to drive quickly. If you're running late, you put it in Sports Plus.
Why do we need
you put it in Sport.
Why are we late to begin with?
No, I mean sometimes my sweet precious angel
Hello?
needs time to handle her hair. I'm joking. So if you're running late, you're gonna put it in Sport, and then if you want to time travel, you put it in Sport Plus, which gives you.
You can actually hear a difference.
Yeah. It opens up the exhaust, and then obviously just the software is also tuned a bit to give you a whole lot more oomph, if you will.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll give you a quick pull. Brace yourself. There's no traction. It is wet.
That's not fun.
It's been pouring down. No, I think it is fun. It's just not fun because you're in the passenger seat and you have no idea what to expect. But from where I'm sitting, I'm having the time of my life.
You literally said that there's no traction, so it feels unexpected.
No. To you, as in you don't know
But
that.
even as a driver, like before you know it.
No, but that's the cool thing, right? We have traction control, which manages, like if your wheels start spinning because you're sending too much power to the rear wheels, because this thing is quite powerful. 398 kilowatts, 610 Newton meters of torque. Yeah, it sounds like Mahashi if you don't know anything about cars, right? So perhaps I think
love your funny words, Magic.
I think the ones that know how much that is.
Okay.
But like generally, like an average car like this doesn't have more than 100 kilowatts. This has 398. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay,
So
okay,
just to give you context, like we're 4 times more powerful than the average person, and that allows us to.
Average car, I guess.
Yeah, than the average car, and it's got instant throttle response too. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Yes. Right.
Whatever you said.
But the idea now is to go ahead and get some Mickey D's, and then afterwards we're gonna pour some petrol. I think in the 2 days that I've had it, I've spent nearly 1,500 on fuel, which is quite a bit. But I think that's a small price to pay for happiness. It is because even if fuel were 50 rand a liter, I'd still be happy. It's okay. The performance justifies what you spend on it.
Fair enough.
a turbo.
Oh my gosh, I heard.
Yes, it goes.
But it's not the same thing as is it?
No, it's not two. So those ones are set up slightly differently. An interesting fact about the turbo in this car is that for the very first time in the history of all Porsche 911s, the turbocharger is now electrified. So without diving too deeply into the technical specifics of it all, a turbocharger allows a car to make more power by forcing air into the engine, because an engine is just controlled explosions. You know, when you like that brrr, those are millions, like hundreds and thousands of tiny explosions happening of fuel and air that is compressed and then sparked using a spark plug, which you might have heard of. And then what a turbocharger does is it allows the car to get more air. So it sucks air in and then it compresses it and it forces it into the engine.
It's why.
Yes.
It's why when he starts the car, I don't know if you heard, girl, but it's why when he starts the car, you didn't hear like GGG, vroom, 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 gone ganja. No.
As for gone ganja.
You just heard, he went, click, boom.
Yeah.
Right, that's the reason, man.
Well,
Right,
almost. So it has two electric motors. One is in the gearbox, right?
Okay.
That's the one that's responsible for the
Yes,
for the car
that's
becoming.
what I was referring to.
The one I'm referring to is another one in the turbocharger.
Oh, okay.
And this
my
one
bad,
is
my bad.
purely for performance.
Oh.
So that when you put your foot down, the turbo spins up much quicker.
Oh.
Right? Like instantly quick. Like think of something spinning 120,000 times
That's crazy,
per
actually.
minute.
In a second. In
Like-
a second or a minute?
No, the revolutions per minute, like if you measure it. But it's able to spin up to that
Excuse me.
speed in under a second,
Oh, cool.
which is ridiculous.
Oh, cool.
And then that just gives you performance gains. This is the first time a 911 has had this feature, ever. And
So why are people hating?
no, but that's the thing, right? So petrol heads are like very wary of electricity. It's seen as the devil.
Why?
We want cars to be pure mechanical experiences. This is what petrol heads believe.
So purists.
Yeah, purists. It must just have an engine and it must be light and laid back and bare bones. And
Boring.
They don't want any interference from any technology whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it's not Porsche's fault.
Yeah.
The European Union, which
Okay.
is basically the government of Europe, if
Yeah.
you will,
Yeah.
they are responsible for setting up legislature that says a company has
Oh,
emissions that
I
it
was
must
about to
meet.
say, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're burning fuel
Yeah,
and
correct.
we're releasing emissions gases
So this
into the
helps to lower
environment.
that a bit.
So now, electrification helps manufacturers meet emissions targets.
Okay.
And that's just what it is. Some manufacturers go plug-in hybrid where you can drive it in EV mode and stuff. But in this, you can't drive it in EV mode. It's a pure internal combustion car, meaning it burns petrol, but the electricity is there for emissions targets. But then because
Makes sense.
Porsche are really good engineers, they've manufactured in such a way that not only do they meet their emissions targets, you also get a very, very fast car.
Porsche doesn't make that cars.
They don't make bad cars. 0 to 100, guess.
2.4 seconds.
Oh, okay, it's not that quick.
Yeah.
But they do make a 911 that is that quick.
I
That
know,
is-
that's the one I was referring to.
Yes, that's the 911 Turbo S,
Yeah,
which is the
okay.
top of the range,
Okay,
right?
where's this?
This one is the sweet spot. The GTS is the mid-range 911, if you will.
Okay.
And mid-range, I don't think is an accurate term anymore because, it makes it sound like there's a huge gap between this one and the Turbo S.
Right, and there
no,
isn't that much. Okay.
No. I think this one is closer to the Turbo S than it is to the base Carrera. Remember that
crazy.
blue one I had on test?
Yeah, that was your base career.
That was the base Carrera. That's
Yeah.
the entry-level 911, which I think is more than enough car for most people, to be honest
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
But because it's a 911, there's nothing entry-level about it. It's still a Porsche. It's still very quick. It's still very good. This one has obviously the electrification. It also has a bigger engine than the 911 Carrera. This one is a 3.6-liter flat six boxer engine, meaning the pistons are punching side to side. That one is a 3-liter. So I've got a bigger engine, plus I've got electrified turbos, plus I've got some clever suspension geometry, and the GTS is sort of like it's seen as the perfect car for long distance roads. But then once you get to a mountain pass, it's capable of that too. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's really up there. And then the Turbo S is like ridiculously fast. That's just, I think no one needs to
So then,
move that quickly.
Okay, so then final guess 3.5.
No, it's much quicker than that. So it is, Porsche claim it'll do 0 to 100 in 3 seconds flat.
Oh, crazy. Oh.
3 seconds
Yeah.
on the dot.
Yeah.
But Porsche are liars. That's the thing. They say 3 seconds, I can almost guarantee we will get 2.9. That's
what you meant.
2.9, 2.8.
They're generous.
Yeah. And they're notorious for understating their performance figures.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a German thing that all these manufacturers do. I think Porsche, they do it quite often as well. But we'll get into the nitty-gritty of all of that. Now we're going to go pour petrol. I've got 100 kilometers of range left. And then we can get going. Thank you for joining my class. I hope you learned something.
I did.
Good, thanks. And how are you? Yeah, this thing is low, but also it costs 3.6 million rand. So the last thing I want is to scratch it, right? Okay. You know that TikTok sound where the saxophone start singing. That's what I feel when I start pouring petrol, bro. This thing has been so expensive to run. The saxophones are getting louder, bro. Yesterday, when was this? What's today's date?
Today's the 18th.
Yesterday, 400 rand. Another payment, 500 rand petrol. So that's 900 rand in a day.
You know, I have a common denominator.
Yeah?
With all of these.
Okay.
Because even with the Alfa Romeo, no?
Yes. But these are performance cars, and performance cars consume fuel.
No, performance cars don't have to consume as much fuel if they're not pushed to their limits.
But why drive a performance car if you're not going to make it perform?
You don't need to make it perform.
No, but I mean, it's these cars are capable of so much, and the unfortunate price you pay for the things that these cars are able to do is fuel consumption. That's just what it is, you know. And for all you're getting, a couple thousand rand a month. Fair. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I do want to mention something interesting though. The 911 GTS has 2 cup holders, which, interestingly enough, are not the same size. The first one goes right here in the middle, right? Which is perfect for stuff like this, but you can't fit like a big flask. And if you want, you can actually remove this entire thing.
Sorry, I did not know that.
You can remove this entire thing. And if you pan over to your left, it has another cup holder, which pops out from the dashboard, which is something that I really, really dig. So yeah, we're going to rock and roll. I don't know if you want Red Bull. We'll check it in like Bumalang or something. Yeah. Thank you. It's in it?
It's 1,028 rand 70 cents.
Okay, first. 1,028.
Points.
Hey, angnalo mhlonishwa. 1,028 ingnike 386 kilometers before empty. But like, this is also because it bases your range on how you were driving before. So on the trip coming here last night, I was a bit heavy-footed. Oof, did you hear that? I was a bit heavy-footed, so it should start ticking up. Keep me accountable. We're gonna drive like normal people. I think it should go up to like 500 by the time we hit the highway, and then we'll see what the range is.
Fil tendu entre nos cœurs.
So we just had a bit of a scare. At the current moment, we are Emalahleni, which is formerly Witbank, right? And on the way here on the N4, I realized that the tire pressure on my rear right tire has started dipping. So all of them are supposed to be at 2.1. It's like, it sends me a warning at 1.7. And then like 2Ks later it's 1.6, 2Ks 1.5, 2Ks 1.4, 1.3, 1.2. And then by the time I got to this garage, I was on 1 bar. And we get here, and now this is why I love driving around in a Porsche. Oops, these people just started mobilizing. The second they saw this car, the comrades started moving. Hey, Sugan. They started moving people around. And then we pull up to the petrol pump. I didn't record it because a part of me was very nervous, because what do you mean I mess it up when I'm in the 911 GTS, right? But it looks like I hit a nail or something and it just punctured the tire. So they patch it up for me. And while they're patching it up, I call the PR head at Porsche South Africa and I let him know. I'm like, hey, sir, it looks like I have some bad news for you. And this is what I love about brands that are managed by petrol heads. He says, Mr. Moropa, it's okay. Just do me a favor, patch it up. We'll replace the tire afterwards. But can you just try keeping it below 200 for me? And he's saying, not 120, not 140, not 160, 200. And obviously we never do 200. We only do 120 in this house. But yeah, these guys, they quickly sort me out. They just patched it up real quick. It cost me 100 Rand. And now we're back on our way to the nickel mine. Or basically not the nickel mine, but the road leading up to the nickel mine, which is the Slyhoek Pass, which now gives me an opportunity, and you're going to have to brace yourself for this, sunshine, to tell you about this little button over here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the Porsche 911 has a drive mode selector. This is how you switch between wet and normal and sports plus. And you'll notice that if I go from sport to normal, back down to wet, it quiets down a bit. But then as soon as I do this, the revs start picking up because it's getting ready for acceleration. But what happens if you don't want to necessarily cycle through the drive modes to take an overtake or whatever it is? There's a little red button here. And if you push this red button, it gives you 20 seconds of immediate throttle response and it throws everything at the wall. So right now I'm in wet. I'm doing 110 kilometers per hour, 108 casually. So you can pan it back here. And the second I push this, oh wait, no, sorry, it only works if you're normal. I push the red button here. And you've overtaken. And then it has a little timer that counts down 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the second it's done counting down, it goes back to the original mode that you were in. So you just push that button just once, you handle your business, and then you go back to whatever it is you were doing. But yeah, short little interlude. Just wanted to share that with you guys. I think I need a Red Bull. Yeah, I was a little bit nervous. My heart was going pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Right, folks, you now join us at the very reason why we left Johannesburg to begin with. We are on Slyhoek Road, which was quite difficult to find considering the fact that it serves no purpose other than being a connecting road for a nickel mine that is in the area. We're currently in Makazeni, not too far from Machadodorp, and the 911 GTS is properly in its element at the current moment. So this road has 96 corners, I believe it is. It's 34 kilometers long, and besides the odd car or two, there isn't much traffic. A little bit of context about the GTS. GTS stands for Gran Turismo Sport. We handled the Gran Turismo part on the way here. Basically, the ability to crush continents, to go from one end of a country to another as quickly and comfortably as possible. That's where the GTS slots in. But once you get to roads like this, which are nice and twisty, that's when we start talking about the S, the sport aspect, which is why a lot of people consider the 911 GTS the sweet spot of the 911 lineup. It's not quite as expensive as the big boy Turbo S, which we mentioned at the beginning of the video, but it's also significantly more powerful than the base 911 Carrera. So you get best of both worlds, if you will. And on this road where there isn't any traffic and there's lots of elevation, 600 meters to be specific, you start getting a sense of why the GTS is such a fan favorite amongst 911 enthusiasts. I've got 398 kilowatts, 610 Newton meters of torque. You don't need to know how much that is. You just need to know it's enough to time travel if you put your foot down far enough. And it's so confidence inspiring too. We haven't gotten to the properly twisty bits. And on these bends here, you get a sense that the balance engineering on this car is so good. It inspires confidence when you take a curve because the weight transfer is not jarring or anything. It's quite a predictable car to drive. And I've got it in normal mode at the moment, not even sport or sports plus. And this is more than enough to get a guy like me going. My word. 911s are considered the benchmark of sports car performance, particularly the Carrera, because it remains the purity that we spoke about at the beginning of this video. But in the GTS with its electrified turbo, I've come to find that this car quite literally obliterates the straights. It's a teleportation device. You come out of a corner, which you take very quickly because of what it's capable of, and before you know it, you're in another corner. The nice thing is that this turbo is electrified, like I mentioned, so it forms part of the soundtrack. You get a big whoosh every time you let go of the accelerator to get on the brakes. And a little bit of context about this road is that it's used by trucks since there's a nickel mine at the end of the road. So there are some dirt spots here and there, but we can get around those relatively easily. My word, the view here is just gorgeous. This is amazing. As I was saying, the 911 Carrera is considered the benchmark of sports car performance. And I honestly feel like that's more than enough car for any sober-minded human being who wants to go quickly and look cool doing so. Begs the question then, do you really need the GTS? I don't think it's a car you need, but it certainly is a car you want. And I think that's where Porsche get things so right. The feeling that I have behind the wheel here is an inspired one. Inspired because, well, for starters, I'm in a 3.6 million rand car. And also because I'm capable of taking on roads like this. When I was in Germany at the beginning of this year, I think it was last month if I'm not mistaken, I fell in love with the roads there, and that's just, I really wish we had those in South Africa, because as great as this road is and as scenic as the exterior view is, I do feel like I'm being let down by the little modulations. But the GTS is able to take them, man. It really is able to take them. And as the road begins to wind tighter and tighter, I'm able to stitch the corners together with confidence, knowing very well that the Pirellis that I'm on here are able to keep me steadily planted on the road, even though I patched one of the tires up, so I'm not going too crazy. But my word, does she open up when you put your foot down. I love performance cars. They're not confused about what it is they're trying to be, because if you consider what many passenger vehicles are, they're trying to be your one car solution to all your problems. This is not trying to do that. This is quite literally one car built for performance, and it's here to put a smile on your face, as you can clearly tell by all 32 of mine out. Is it 32 or 36 teeth that a human being has? I'm not entirely sure, but all of them are out. There's lots of elevation on this road. Oof. There goes my fuel consumption, eh? Because, like I said, I was driving like a good Christian boy on the way here. The brakes on this car are very good. I believe the 911 GTS comes with rear wheel steer as standard, which when you're traveling at low speeds turns in the opposite direction to the front wheels to give you some maneuverability. And at high speeds like this, they turn in the same direction to the front wheels to give you high speed stability. So you get best of both worlds. And in situations like this, you really get a feeling of just how much work these e-turbos are doing. I've got practically zero lag. Even in high gears at low speeds, it works hand in hand with the 8-speed PDK, which is also electrified. Oh, my word, what a blast. This car is so capable, man. And I think we, as petrol heads, have become desensitized to speed. I know I can't say the same for Mickey, who's in the passenger seat. And I know for a fact that she's clenching all 10 toes, gripping onto the ground. But rest assured, Sunshine, you're in great hands and in a very capable machine as well. So we should be A-okay. There isn't a single car on this road. But I'm saying that I feel like petrol heads have become desensitized to speed, because nearly anything these days could put your head back when you put the foot down, especially with electrification. Even passenger consumer vehicles. I was in a GWM Haval H6 plug-in hybrid, and that's quicker than a GTI from 0 to 100. So it gives you context as to how accessible performance is. But something that not every car can do is this: the ability to tackle corners and then pin them down and then make you want more at the end of it all. My word. This 911 is incredible. But then again, what do you expect from a Porsche, right? That's why they've been so successful for so long. The 911 badge has been around for 63 years, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said at the beginning of this video, there have been 3 major inflection points on the 911 lineup. So when they went from being air-cooled to water-cooled engines, you don't need to know what that is. Just know it provided efficiency and thermal efficiency, to be specific. It's when the 911 lineup got turbocharged. And now, the use of electrification. I don't know how long we'll have cars like this for. I really don't. Because since I was a young boy, journalists who I grew up watching have always been worried about the threat of losing this thing that we love, this connectedness, this raw, engaging driving experience because of electrification. And it seems that Porsche are the latest to succumb to EU regulations. It's bigger than them. It's lawmakers deciding that they need to meet emissions targets. And what are you going to do? Fight the law? Fight the government? They can't do that. So when I'm able to experience what electricity can do in enhancing the driving experience, yes, see, this car is so good. I'm then able to appreciate that, you know what, electricity might not be the big bad wolf or the enemy that we think it to be. It's our friend, because it allows cars like this to stay alive. Mercedes have killed off the C63 SE performance because nobody wanted a 4-cylinder plug-in hybrid. That's the alternative, right? Plug-in hybrids. But when Porsche have managed to provide electrification without necessarily killing the soul, you can tell that, yeah, you can switch a heartbeat, but the human remains the same. And this heart is happy to beat. My goodness. This is incredible. This is absolutely glorious. Yo, what a car. And that's it. That brings us to the end of this road that we drove nearly 3 hours for. But I can't tell you how grateful I am that I get to experience things like this at this tender age of mine. So to each and every single one of you guys who subscribe, who watch, who comment, who share these videos, I appreciate you. I'm so grateful, because without the community that we've built here, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing now. Certainly not at this level, at least. And I hope that as I get to experience these things, I do them justice by sharing them with you, in the hopes that one day someone else would be inspired to do the same as I was once inspired. Guys, God is the greatest. And I promise it's not the elevation speaking. I truly am grateful to be able to do things like this in such incredible machines. Ooh, my word. I reckon we should pull over to the side so you guys can have a view of what I'm looking at here, because it's glorious. It's absolutely glorious. I also suppose that this is now a really good time to give you guys a proper walk around in the car, because I understand that when I showed you the car as we were leaving Johannesburg, it was in a parking lot, and it would be an injustice not to give you an overview, right? One interesting thing is that you can spot all modern 911s with this light bar over here that's exposed, and the Porsche text is 3D, so you can actually touch it. And like I said earlier, this is the GTS, And the GTS is easily spotted with the dual exit tailpipes. It's got a staggered setup. I've got 21-inch wheels on the rear, and I've got 20-inch wheels in the front. I'm currently riding on Pirelli P0, so proper rubber. And this one has been kitted with the HD Matrix LED headlamps from Porsche, which combine all the lighting functionality into one single module. So the daytime running lights, the high beams, and the indicators are all in the single thing. The older 911s used to have a little bar that ran down there, like a light bar, which would indicate, but that's now gone away. It also has active aero down here. You see these shock fin style vents. These open and close depending on the cooling needs of the car. And then obviously you have the classic 911 silhouette over here, which I think is glorious. It's absolutely glorious. I'm gonna launch my drone so that you guys can see everything I'm seeing here. But we're the only people here. We are the only people here. I love my job so much, folks. I love it so much. And listen to her breathing. I'm gonna get closer. Good girl, she's amazing. And this is a wing. This wing here, it opens and closes and acts as an air brake depending on your needs. You can raise it automatically if you're in Sports Plus, but if you come to the settings over here and you click spoiler, you'll see that there's a little animation of the spoiler going up. And if I go out, you'll notice that the spoiler is now extended. How hot is that? Glorious thing. Haunches for days. Hips don't lie, folks. So enjoy this drone montage where you can just see a couple shots. And thank you for sharing these experiences with me.